Okay, everybody, this is Zane. I am the CEO and co-founder of MyNeurowave.com. I'm so excited that you're here tonight. I can't wait to show you what I am about to show you. We've spent a tremendous amount of time putting this stuff together and doing a lot of research to come up with this amazing program that I cannot wait to share with you tonight. So if you're here to figure out how to create a money mindset, figuring out how to master your mind in order to master your life, then you are in the right place. Now, just a couple things. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what I'm going to be talking about tonight. So one of the things that I tend to do when I get excited is I talk kind of fast. So if you have trouble understanding me, I want to make sure you get a return on the investment of your time. And so if you have trouble understanding me, just shoot me a note and let me know you need me to slow down. And I'll do my best to calm down and slow down for you. But we have a tremendous amount of stuff to cover tonight. I want to make sure that you get as much value as possible out of what I have to share with you tonight. So, and to that point, in terms of ROI, I don't want to break your brain, right? I've got a lot of information to give you. So do your best to connect with what really connects with you. Just pick up a few of the techniques and skills that I'm going to teach you over the next 90 minutes and integrate those into your life. And then just watch what happens. Some amazing stuff can happen for you over the course of the next, couple weeks, couple months, and then just see where you're going to be. So pick up what really intersects for you, what lands for you, and that's just kind of the way your brain works, right? The stuff you're interested in is the stuff that you take action against, and that's really the way to move forward one step at a time. So here we go without any further ado. And listen, I also want to let you know if you stay to the end, I'm going to have some really cool stuff for you because I don't believe in having people come to me and then I dump a lot of information into your brain without giving you anything to help you along the way. And so I have some free gifts for you if you stay to the end of this webinar, and I'm very excited to share what that is with you later on, and I'll be very excited to give that away to you as well. Now let's just talk about the not so fine print here really quickly. I do want to let you know that your life is yours to change. I cannot change it for you. And in fact, even if I had this godlike ability to do it, I think I wouldn't do it because then you miss out on the process of changing your life. So your life is yours to change. I can't do it for you. You're responsible for your own results. This technique is not a substitute for therapy either. Some people come in and ask if it is, and it is not. So if you suffer from childhood abuse or PTSD, anything like that, I want you to know that it would be best for you to seek out a licensed psychotherapist because we're not equipped to help you. I wish we were, but we're just not equipped to help you. Now, those of you that are dealing with limiting beliefs and you have some wiring in your brain that's just kind of off and holding you back, you've been stuck in the same patterns over and over again, that is who we are trained to help, and we can help you very, very well. We're very good at what we do. There are no guarantee of results of what I'm going to talk to you about today. Of course, I can't guarantee results because I don't know, how hard you are willing to work. Clearly, people buy exercise equipment all the time, right? This is the example. People buy exercise equipment all the time, but they never jump on the treadmill or they use it inconsistently, and so then results are inconsistent. So certainly no guarantee of results. The results I talk about in my life or the lives of my private clients are not typical. Results differ from individual to individual because everybody's brain is a little bit different. Now, let me talk about why I believe I can help you. Because a while back, I figured out why most people are stuck and unhappy. And the reason is your brain, most people's brains are wired to fail. I don't care how successful you are, how much you've accomplished over the course of your life and not just with your money, right, or your business or your career, but also your relationships, your health and wellness, or your personal development. Everybody has a comfort zone. Everybody has a ceiling that they can't get beyond because then your brain starts to freak out. So at a certain point, every human being is wired to fail. Yet most people focus on the external factors of their lives. It's like worrying about a new paint job for this particular limo, right? So let's just assume for a minute, put yourself in this position. Let's say you can afford to hire a limo driver to drive you around every day. And so one day he puts it into this light pole like he does right there, and then you get a new paint job for the limo. And the next day he puts it into a tree, and so you reupholster the car. And then the next day he drives it into a ditch, and so you put new tires on the car, but you're not fixing the fundamental problem, which is the person driving the car. You're focusing on external things as opposed to focusing on replacing or retraining the driver. And so since your brain is the driver of your life, I discovered that you must change your brain so that you can effectively change your life. So here's the thing. I love helping people. Ever since I was a little boy, I've wanted to figure out a way to use my passions and talents to help people. So it took me a while, but then I figured out how to do it. And so I started this company, MyNeuroWave.com, for people like you, for people who know that they can have more out of life, but they just don't know how to create sustainable change, for people who've tried the workshops, the seminars, the classes, the courses, the books, even trying to simply plow through with willpower, yet none of your efforts have long-term success. There's no fundamental changes to your results, and it's frustrating and leads to a diminishment of who you are until everything in your life becomes some combination of gray or numb and stressful, and you give up on what you want. And I don't want that to happen to you, because you deserve better than that. I want you to live your dream life. I want you to know that I've figured out how you can achieve that. And so over the course of our time together tonight, I will show you how during this webinar, and I promise you it's way simpler than you think. Now, I love my life, but that hasn't always been the case, because life can be really cruel, and then sometimes things can spiral into some difficult places, and I've been there, and it's brutal, because on the outside, at one point in time, my life looked like it was amazing, but inside, things were incredibly difficult, because I was broke with no idea how to make more money. I mean, you can read the list, right? I remember the low point was standing in Costco one day, and my wife and I were really struggling, and I called her to make sure the bank account was fine, and she said it was, but she had forgotten to look at that precise moment, and something came out. I'm in line at Costco, or break out the debit card and swipe it through, and it was declined, and I had to go back and put stuff on the shelf, and that was really embarrassing. My brain has been wired in the past to fail at relationships, and my wife and I struggled as a result for a long time, you know, where I felt like if we went through a day where we didn't argue, that was a successful day. But nobody wants to live like that. Nobody deserves to live like that. So, you know, what I did about it was I bought courses. I went to trainings. I went to workshops. I read books to change my circumstances. But then none of the changes stuck with me, because I always slid back into old behavior patterns. And then what I figured out was why my life was broken. And it was like an epiphany. These lights and these bells and whistles went off in my head, because when I finally figured out that I'd been wired to fail, I knew what to do about it. And I remember a seminal moment in my life, and maybe this will speak to you. I think a lot of us struggle with fear. And this is a true story about fear. When I was a little boy, I remember that this was a turning point in my life when I started approaching life with fear, because when we're little, right, we approach life with joy. Nobody has told us we can't do stuff yet. We do crazy things. We crawl on the couch. We go up the stairs, crawl up the stairs when we're not supposed to. It's a miracle that that most kids make it out of their childhood alive, but they believe they can do anything in the world. And so I remember one time when I was a little boy, I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. My favorite thing to do was check the mail, and I would remember crashing through the screen door of the house and run as fast as I could down the driveway. We kind of had a long driveway. It was a gravel drive, and my feet were pumping along the driveway. I remember, you know, I can still hear the sound of the rocks in my ears as I was clomping through. And then I would get to the mailbox. I would stop suddenly, and I would slide into the mailbox, grab the post, swing around, grab the mailbox flap, open it up, grab the mail, run back inside, and then gleefully give the mail to my mom or dad. And then they hated the mail, though, right? Because, and when I asked them why, they said it's because there's always bills in there. So and that's where my poor money mindset for a long time originated, because they hated the mail because there were always bills, and they had a lack mentality. Well, my mom told me a story one time, and this is the story about fear, where she says, you know, Zane, there's times where there's mean people in this world, and a lot of times they will put snakes in the mailbox, so that when you go to check the mail and you put your hand in there, a snake will bite you. So I want you to look inside the mailbox before you go check the mail again. And that seriously is like scarred me for life. I still check the mailbox, and not all the time, but that little pathway is still in there. Every now and then it'll peek its head around. And when I go out to check the mail now at 41 years old even, I duck inside and look inside the mailbox to make sure there's not a snake in there. But you can see how fear messages can just root themselves in your brain and take over, even if they're irrational, because I've never heard of anybody doing such a crazy thing of putting a snake in a mailbox. But I was afraid of that for a long time, and I grew up very, very afraid of a lot of different things. I was afraid of relationships. I was afraid of being myself. I was just afraid of everything, until I figured out that I was wired to fail. And when I figured out that I was wired to fail, I studied for over 10 plus years. I dug into human growth and development courses. I dug into neuroscience. I dug into brain science and psychology. I dug into cognitive sciences. And so I studied really hard for 10 years to figure out, right, what was wrong with me, what was going on, why I felt so broken and held back, and why I could. Here's the thing. I felt like my life was stuck, but I felt like I should be able to break through and do greater things, but I just never could with any sustainability. And so what I learned was the secret is all about your brain, and it's all about how your brain is wired. And so I started making some strides, and then I learned the science behind meditation and mindfulness and visualization, and that, when I put all of that stuff together, that's when everything changed. So here's what's keeping you from living your dream life. Here's what's keeping you from making more money, staking your claim to opportunities. Same thing that was holding me back when I was a kid. The same thing that was holding me back through my young adulthood is you're wired to fail. And I don't mean metaphorically wired to fail, like some ethereal in the clouds, like your mind is wired to fail. I mean you are literally wired to fail. You have physical structures in your brain that look like wires. It's what they call white matter. You've probably heard of gray matter, right? That's your brain matter. That's what sits inside your head. Well, inside the brain matter is all this white matter, and that's your neural pathways. And your neural pathways is where all your thoughts and impulses run up and down those superhighways in your brain. And you have an extensive network of these things in your head. In fact, if you took your neural pathways out and you stretched all that white matter and you stretched them from one end to the other, just stacked them one on top of the other all the way out in a straight line, they would stretch from where you are right now all the way to the moon. That's how much amazing stuff is packed into your mind. And some of those wires are situated in such a way, they've been created in such a way based on stuff that's happened to you in the past that you're wired to fail. Literally, your brain has been ensured that you fail. In fact, it's more complicated than you think because of your neural net. You actually have an aversion to doing the work necessary to break through. You have an aversion to putting yourself out there and taking risks, and you're susceptible to being knocked down by obstacles and failures and then just not getting up and staying where you are and staying stuck and accepting your lot in life. And then the successes that you do achieve are frustratingly temporary because you end up backsliding into old behavior patterns because you live in fear, even if you don't know it. And you've been programmed by others, right? Up until this point, you've been programmed by other people, whether you know it or not, by your parents, by well-meaning friends, by caretakers. You've been programmed by them. You've been programmed maybe even by the media to live from the fear center of your brain. It's called the amygdala. And when you live from the fear center of your brain, you're living in a very reactive emotional state. And you can't access the logical, rational, strategic thinking centers of your brain. And so you're constantly in fight, flight, or freeze mode. And you can't succeed that way. It's not possible. So here's my goal. My goal tonight is to teach you why your brain allows fear and negative beliefs to control you, and then show you simple yet powerful techniques that allow you to create a winning money mindset. How's that sound? Just in the chat box real quick. Does that sound good so far? Would you like for me to show you that? So and by the way, I've got Jesse up in mission control. Jesse's going to be handling your questions tonight and making sure that this technology works from beginning to end. I've got my business partner, Brian, here right beside me, helping me do the same. Awesome. Okay, cool. Everybody's excited. Very, very good. Very cool. All right, let's move forward here. So here's what I'll teach you today that completely transformed my life, and it transformed the lives of my clients who totally wanted to rock their lives. And so I want to show you 3 people that stand out most of all. Here's Sunny, and if you got the emails from me over the course of the week after you registered for the webinar, you heard her story. But Sunny, what she says is, I feel unstoppable. Like anything I put my mind to, I can do it. And here I am, a professional cheerleader at the age of 34. She came to me and said, I want to become a professional cheerleader. She lives down in Atlanta, Georgia. She's a doctor, but her dream since she was a little girl was to be a cheerleader, and we worked together and ran her through my program. And then the next thing you know, she calls me in June of last year, and she made the team down there in Atlanta for the NBA team. And it was truly an amazing thing to hear her do that. Here's Ann, and what Ann says is, you can read it, Neurowave is a must for all of us who are on this journey to live a more fulfilling life. Zane explains beautifully how to tap into the knowing of ourselves. He shows us the truth in a simple and nurturing manner so we might be authentic and free to be who we have always been meant to be. And Ann is a licensed psychotherapist, and she and I worked together a little bit, had her check on what I was doing, and we also hired some cognitive behavioral theorists and a neuroscientist over in Portugal to kind of help us, notch all this stuff together, and Ann was an integral part of that. And then here's Brad. What Brad says, Brad's a business owner. I met him one time down in Atlanta, Georgia. We were hanging out, and he tried out our products. And here, what he says is, NeuroWave has helped my life and my business. Notice quick results. I'm a lot less stressed out. I sleep better, and I feel a lot more like me, like I'm in control of the stuff I want to do. So whether you're looking at these audios or you're looking to work with Zane, you're going to have a great experience. And Brad's a great guy. He owns and operates a very successful business down in Florida, and is just a super, super good guy. So I just wanted you to know that there are people out there that have tried what we do, and they're loving it and getting really amazing results. And so I want to show you how you can get amazing results too. Now, there's two basic ways to battle fear and limiting beliefs. The first way that most people try to do is just grit your teeth and gut it out through willpower. Now, that's way number one. And I'll get spoiler alert, right? That way just doesn't work. The other way, the easier way, is to simply change your brain and change your wiring. And that's what I'm going to show you today. Because if willpower worked, then why do most people fail? If willpower worked, all you would have to do is just work hard for a specific period of time, and then you would succeed. But why do people who have the same background as you, who have the same educational background, same basic childhood, from the same geography, went to the same school, why are some of those people millionaires? And you might feel stuck where you are. It's because they're wired differently than you. Now, you have to work hard, but your brain has to be moving in the right direction first. Otherwise, all the hard work in the world isn't going to help you out. Now, willpower is unsustainable because it's not possible to overcome your neural wiring. In fact, you have a limited amount of willpower on a daily basis. Once it runs out, it's done, and then you have to sleep and reload and start over the next day. So let's talk about how your life can change starting right now. Now, I don't think you would be here unless you're in some sense stuck and frustrated, right? You want more money, you want to advance professionally, you want to love your work. That's a big thing, right? I know some people just sit there and look out their cubicle, across their cubicle wall out the window and wish that they were something else. So a lot of people want to love their work, and you have dreams inside you, and you're just afraid to take that step, right? It's because you're wired to be afraid. Maybe you want to be fit, maybe you want inner peace, maybe you want to feel like you have value, or you want passionate, fulfilling relationships. Maybe there's a hobby or something new that you want to learn, and you've just never followed through with that. So why aren't these things showing up for you? Why are you so stuck, right? You know the answer to this by now. You got to know the answer, right? I've said it a million times. It's because you're wired to fail. And I'm going to show you how to rewire your brain so that you can have the life that you deserve. So I struggled for 20 long years against really bad programming. My parents are wonderful people, but they just did some stuff that wasn't exactly good for me. And then had some other experiences along the way because of that programming that really drug me down and held me back. So after 20 long years, I promise you, I mastered the hard way. I got really good at that. I got really good at gritting my teeth and trying to do it through willpower. So after all the years of study, now I'm going to give you the easy way in just the next few minutes. So here's the 3 secrets that will change your life. Secret number 1 is we're going to talk about how your brain destroys your ability to succeed without you even knowing it. Secret number 2 is we're going to talk about why willpower is useless. So I'll talk about from a neuro perspective, from a brain perspective, why that doesn't work. And then secret 3 is how to convert your brain into a success magnet. I'll walk you through the exact steps that I used to completely change my life around, the exact steps I used to change people's lives, like Sonny, who became the cheerleader, like Chapman. I didn't talk about him, but who moved from LA to London to grab his dream job. I'm going to walk you through that same exact process. So let's talk about success number 1 first, about how your brain destroys your ability to succeed without you even knowing it. So there's old messages that have been put in your head by other people, and these messages became your programming, right? So that's how the neural net works. A thought goes into your head, and it becomes a wire in your brain, and then wires start to wire together. And you've heard that saying before, probably, wires that fire, neurons that wire together fire together. And so you develop this neural net based on your programming, some of it good, some of it bad. So and these are the physical structures, right, that developed in your brain based on this programming. And then your actions are based on the thoughts that follow a biologically predictable path. And if you think about the patterns in your life with your finances, with your career, with your business, you can probably look back, if you sat down and wrote it all out, you could look back and you could see very predictable patterns in your behaviors based on your thoughts. And those thoughts are contained in your brain, in that white matter, in those neural structures in your head. And so it's just like a road, right? I mean, when you are preconditioned to think certain things and behave certain ways based on those thoughts, which bring the results into your life, it's like driving down a road. You may want to get off the road, but you can't just take a hard right turn whenever you want to, because there might be a tree there or a ditch there or a guardrail there. You're on the road that you're on. And the only way to get off is to find an off-ramp and take a different path. And that's what I'm going to show you here in a little bit, which is how to build those off-ramps after you wear down the old pathways that have been worn into your brain. So your brain then develops coping mechanisms to deal with the destructive programming. And then you either fight, you get aggressive, right? You fight, you start kind of self-sabotaging, or you run away, or you freeze. So if you can think about, the way you think about money, if opportunities present themselves, but you feel like you're not ready for them, you feel like maybe money is evil, or you feel like people who have money are selfish, or maybe you just feel like you're not good enough or ready to start your own business, you may run away from those opportunities or self-sabotage those opportunities, or just freeze and numb out. And that's the fear center of your brain saying, this feels scary, this feels different, I don't like this, even if it could be good for me. I don't like it because this is different. I'm freaking out. You're outside your comfort zone. The fear center of your brain starts firing off and floods your body with all kinds of stress hormones like cortisol, and floods you with too much fat suppressant and adrenaline. And what you do is you either fight and mess it up, run away and mess it up, or freeze and mess it up. And that's how you're spinning your wheels and get stuck in certain patterns. So if you received unhealthy and destructive programming, and the fear center of your brain is ruling your life, and then you develop negative beliefs about yourself and about the world or about your abilities based on that programming, then this is why you get stuck and you spin your wheels and continuously fail to break through financially or professionally. It's why you have constant money woes or success woes. Maybe you're doing okay, but you wish you were doing way better. And it's why you're stuck where you are. Because your brain dictates that you will not have the money or success you desire, or the confidence to seize opportunities that present themselves to you, because your brain has built physical structures that are designed to keep you from breaking through. And then you become biologically trapped in your comfort zone. And who has seen this graphic before? Just real quick, just a yes or a no, if you would. Just let me know if you've seen this before. Yes or no, have you seen this graphic before, where your comfort zone is and then where the magic happens? Just, I would love to know who has seen this, because this particular graphic drives me crazy, because nobody tells you how to get outside your comfort zone. Everybody knows that you're supposed to get outside your comfort zone, that's where the magic happens. But here's the thing. Here's what nobody tells you, is when you get outside your comfort zone, that's when the fear center of your brain starts to fire off. And that's when you start to freak out, and that's when you go into fight, flight, or freeze mode. And that's why you fail. And so I'm going to teach you how to expand your comfort zone safely in order to keep that fear center of your brain under control. So let's talk about why willpower is useless and what happens inside your comfort zone when you try to exercise your willpower. Now, most people will live in their safe zone, right? Your comfort zone. So if you would, just kind of in the back of your head, I'm not asking you to answer this question, but just file this away in the back of your mind. What areas of your financial life are you living in a safe zone? Where are you stuck in a life that you didn't mean to create? And just think about that for a minute. I want you to file that away in your mind as we go through this material. And as we intersect in this material stuff that you've experienced in your life where you're getting stuck, I want you to see how that either applies to how it happened that you got stuck, or how it can get you unstuck based on, where we are in this particular presentation. Now, it's your brain's primary directive to protect you. Your brain's not being a jerk to you, I promise. It's doing what it was designed to do. Your brain's supposed to protect you. Its prime directive is to keep you safe and keep you alive. And so anytime you do anything that feels scary to it, it's going to say you're about to cross your comfort zone. So your brain sets up boundaries of what is normal. And then everything feels just fine inside those boundaries, even if it's dysfunctional. Even if what feels normal is actually dysfunctional and destructive to you, you're going to stay in that comfort zone because it feels safe. And your brain says you're safe here because this is what's normal. And if you get outside that comfort zone, I can't protect you, is what your brain is saying. And you're going to get hurt. You may be rejected. Now, I'll throw this out there to you. I wasn't intending to tell you this tonight, but it's a little brain fact. Your brain experiences rejection in the same place that it experiences physical pain. And your brain wants to keep you safe from physical pain, right? And that's why people fear success. They fear failure. They fear to go out on their own. They fear to take risks because they're afraid of being rejected and judged. Because their brain's saying, that's going to hurt, and I'm trying to protect you. Which is why you stay in dysfunctional situations that aren't working for you. It's why you keep doing the same thing over and over and over that isn't working for you, because it feels safe. That's why saving money is hard for some people, because it feels good to spend, even if it's financially destructive. It's why people don't go all in on opportunities, because it feels safer to keep things exactly the way they are. Because your comfort zone isn't constructed out of what is helpful for you. It's constructed by what your programming and what is believed to be safe by your brain is telling you. It's constructed by that. So this is what safe looks like. It's not your dream life. It wasn't my dream life when I was living a safe life, when I was broke, when I was arguing with my wife all the time, when I had no friends, when I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. But it was safe. And then what I did was, like most people, I started looking outside myself for the answers. I started trying to find myself and meaning and purpose. I tried to fill this black hole inside of me through my family or relationships or through hobbies, right? Or through health and wellness. Some people try to find it through money or eating right. Some people try to find meaning through community service or by starting a business or hanging out with friends and starting new hobbies. But the problem is you're not addressing the main thing. You see that circle in the middle that says that's the thing you have to fill up. That's the thing that has to change, not all the stuff out here, because then you're consistently feeding yourself. You have to consistently over and over and over make more money, get more fit, pick up more hobbies, spend more time with your family, have more intimacy to feed yourself instead of focusing on you first. And that's the secret, is to change your brain first, to change what's going on inside you first, and then stretch your comfort zone safely. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment by rewiring your brain exactly as you want it. Not how other people wanted you to do it, which is how, for most people who are living an unintentional life, and look, that's most people. Most people are living an unintentional life. They didn't design their life. They're not living in the city they intended to live in, the house they intended to live in. They don't have the job or the business they intended to build or start. They don't have the relationships they intended to have. They just kind of ended up in these spaces. And maybe that's you. I know it was me at a certain point in time. And it was because I was wired by other people. And when I started to wire my brain as I wanted it, when I started to wire my brain so that I could live a genuine and authentic life, that's when everything changed. It was amazing. So I want you to think, file this away in the back of your head too, right? What actions can you take to improve your finances or your career that feel scary to you? Because I bet you know what it is that you need to do. Most people do. I would say 90 to 95% of the time, most people know what they need to do to advance their career, to start a business, expand their business, launch a product, get out of debt, increase their finances. They're just not doing it because, what's the answer, right? Your brain is wired to fail. So those are the issues. So now let's talk about how you can convert your brain into a success magnet. So this is the fun stuff, right? This is what you came here to find out. And but I wanted to set the stage for you first so that you can understand how you got to where you are right now in the present, because everything that's happened in your past has designed your present. Here's the cool thing. Everything that's happened in your past does not mean your future has been scripted for you, because what you do right now in the present, that is what's going to create your future. And I'm really excited to tell you what I'm going to tell you here for the next few slides, because this will change your life, and it's going to knock your socks off. So here we go. Our natural state is to be in joy and without limits. Okay, you remember, again, I'll say this one more time. When you were a kid, you used to do all kinds of crazy stuff that you would never do as an adult because you didn't know it could get you hurt. You didn't know it was bad for you. You just did it because nobody said you can't do stuff. But then adults get involved and they tell you what you can't do, who you are, what you can and can't accomplish, and you start to conform to that because thoughts become things, right? Thoughts, if you think about the law of attraction and you think about stuff and it's supposed to manifest itself in your external life, that's one way to look at that. Another way to look at that is your thoughts become physical structures in your brain. Literally, your thoughts become part of who you are. They become your neural pathways. They become that white matter in your brain. That's why you have to be careful about what media you take in. That's why you have to be careful about who you hang out with, right? Because their thoughts, those messages, become part of who you are. And so you have to be careful about what you're digesting with your mind. So you receive devastating programming, right? People tell you you're insignificant or life is unfair, life is scary, and then you believe you have no control, and that's when fear sets in. Boom, fear sets in, doubt sets in, and you start to believe all these limiting messages as objectively true. And so once it's internalized, then no matter what the messages are, they're going to go through those neural pathways, just like those roads. Remember, you saw that picture of the roads earlier. And once you're on a street, you're going to be on that street unless you find an off-ramp. So no matter what stimuli go into your brain, it's going to run along these neural pathways. So somebody may have really great advice for you and say, hey, are you going to apply for that promotion? I know that's your dream job. And your response is, I can't. I'm not good enough. And that's not objectively true. And you know that. But that's just a lie that you bought into, and now it's wired into your brain. Or somebody may come along, they're a crab, right? You ever seen crabs in a bucket? If you put one in, they can climb out. If you put two in, they pull each other down, and neither one can get out. So you have the crab come up to you, and you're thinking about maybe breaking out, and this guy says, you know what, your dreams are impossible for you. Who do you think you are, right? And then you say, yeah, I know, life is so unfair, and you decide to drop back down into that bucket. Or somebody might say to you, dude, take a chance. Come on, take a chance. Take a risk. You only live once. And some people say, listen, let's do it. Let's jump. But when you're wired to fail, you say, no way. Life is too scary, and your brain's trying to protect you. And you sabotage every effort to break out. So very quickly, you become wired to fail so that you may believe, let's just take one money belief. You may believe money brings pain, right? You may have seen your parents argue about money their whole life when you're a little kid, right? Or you saw somebody go bankrupt. Maybe a family friend went bankrupt and you saw how painful that was. And you internalize that belief. Money brings pain. And so then you think about in your adult life, advancing your career, starting a business, expanding your business, launching a product, getting out of debt. But then those alarm bells start going off in your amygdala. And so then you either take negative actions and you sabotage yourself from your quest to make more money or become more successful, or you take no action. You hit that stop button, and then you get negative results. The guy's crying there, right? The lady's crying there, but you get negative results, but that's okay, right? Your brain's telling you, that's okay. I'm keeping you in your comfort zone. I'm keeping you safe. I don't want you to get hurt. And so you stick around in dysfunctional situations that are just bad for you. And even temporary success ends in the same place, right? Let's say your belief about money is painful. It's a scary thing, right? But then for some reason, some way, somehow, you muster up the courage to start a business, or you muster up the courage to apply for a promotion, and you get the interview and you're excited. So you're hitting the go button, right? And here you go. You're charging forward. You got your resume all polished up. You got your network working for you. You go into the interview, you do your product launch, whatever it is, but then boom, you bump up into an obstacle, right? Some failure happens and it freaks you out. Or some limiting belief gets triggered because you actually start having success. And this limiting belief says, you sure you want to do that? Because this is going to end badly, you know, because money is painful. And so boom, you hit the stop button and sabotage your efforts, slide back to where it's comfortable, and you end up with negative results. So the way to interrupt this process is to align with a proven process that erases negative beliefs, right? So that's the first step. And then the second step is to install new programming that reflects the life you want to live. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this. So I'm not just going to give you vague stuff, right? I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it. And then I'm really excited to give you some tools that are going to help you achieve it. Does that sound good? Just a quick yes or no. Does that sound good? Is that exciting to you? Like you're going to find out at the end of this webinar how to get rid of the old programming and then install new programming that you want to have in your brain. Does that sound great? Awesome. Yes, 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 of course. Awesome. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, here we go. So I've talked about this a little bit before. You want to install default beliefs that empower you. Because your current default beliefs about success or money, or else I don't think you'd be here. Your default beliefs about success or money are negative, scary thoughts. And so you want to empower yourself around success and money because you create what you believe through your thoughts, right? Your thoughts just kind of come in and out of your mind. And if you're not intentional with your thoughts, then just kind of whatever is going to pop into your head. And then when you have enough of these thoughts, then beliefs form, and the beliefs form in the form of very strong neural pathways along which all of your thoughts and impulses run. And then those beliefs become your actions, and then those actions always align with your beliefs. Your brain is not going to allow you to do anything for any consistent amount of time that you don't believe is absolutely true. It doesn't allow it. Your actions must always align with your beliefs. That's why you self-sabotage. That's why you slide back into old patterns of thought, behavior, and action if you haven't changed the wiring in your head first, because your results are always going to align with your belief-driven behaviors. Which again, that's why doing a lot of stuff externally first isn't going to work, because you have to change what's going on in your head first. So you rewire with empowering default beliefs. So you want to rewire with thoughts and beliefs that kind of align with what this person's thinking, right? I can accomplish anything I'm passionate about. I create my own reality and circumstances. I have the ability to make a lot of money. I create deep, fulfilling relationships. And when you have those beliefs, then your brain is going to automatically shift your actions to match up with those beliefs. And then when your beliefs shift your actions, then your results automatically shift, because your thought-driven, belief-driven actions have shifted. And now they're sustainable because they're driven by the driver of your life, which is your brain. So what I'm teaching you here is how to master your brain, how to control your brain, as opposed to allowing your brain and your emotions to control you. So here's how to do it. Now I'm going to dig into each of these steps I'm about to show you. Now, and when I show you the steps, listen, I want you to hang in with me for a few minutes, because it may feel overwhelming, okay? I think about half the time people say, dude, this is a lot. This is overwhelming. So I want you to understand, if it feels overwhelming, it's okay. I'm going to help you over the course of a few slides. I'm going to dig into each of them. I'm going to talk about them, and then I'm going to show you how it's all very, very simple to apply to your life. I have a tool that's going to collapse it all and help you apply it to your life very easily and simply. Okay, do you guys like easy and simple? Does that sound good? Yes, no? Just quick yes or no in the chat box really quickly. Just type it in there. Let me know if that sounds good to you. Yes, no, yes, yes, yes. Yes, you like simple? Okay, very cool. Very, very cool. Here we go. So here's the 8 proven steps backed by science. And again, these are pulled from my experience and my study in the cognitive sciences and psychology and neuroscience. And so the 8 steps are releasing your destructive beliefs, which is through a process called neuro pruning. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Creating empowered self-concept, creating empowered neural pathways, meditating, practicing mindfulness, positive language and thoughts. Number 7, focus visualization. And 8, relaxing and de-stressing. That's a lot, right? So, but I promise you, we're going to land this thing really, really smoothly here in just a moment. So the first thing you need to do is release destructive beliefs. These destructive beliefs are your limiting beliefs. These are the things that are keeping you hung up in the old patterns of your life. These are the negative neural pathways that are in your head. And so again, your thoughts create your beliefs, which create your actions, which bring results into your life. And so if you can prune away the old neural pathways and then situate new pathways in their place, then you've got new beliefs, which give you new actions, which bring new results into your life. It's just a very natural process. So what happens when you release destructive beliefs, the process I'm going to show you, it leverages this system that happens, this process that happens in your brain when you sleep. And so when you go to sleep, there's a very natural process. When you go to sleep, what happens is you have these cells called microglial cells, and they get released into your brain, and they're looking for a particular protein that attaches itself to neural pathways that you haven't been using that often. And so the neural pathways that you haven't been using often, that has this protein attached to it, the microglial cells come in, they look for those pathways, and they trim them away. They just prune them out. They get rid of them. And so this happens to you every night. It's a very natural process. I'm just going to teach you how to use it in an intentional way, so that when you focus less and less on your negative beliefs, those microglial cells are free to come in and prune away those old neural pathways. Now, I do want to tell you this. It doesn't mean you're going to lose memories. It doesn't mean you're going to lose parts of your life. That's not what that means at all. You retain your memories. You retain those experiences in your head. You just lose the emotional impact that they had on your life. which means that you get to calm down the fear center of your brain and operate more out of your neocortex, which is the logical, rational, strategic thinking part of your brain. So first thing you'll do is release your destructive beliefs. The second thing is to create an empowered self-concept. Now, this isn't self-confidence, right? Self-confidence radiates from your self-concept. So your self-concept really is just how you feel about yourself, how you view yourself. It's your I am statements. It's who you are at a genuine level when you're stripped down with no clothes, no money, no possessions, out in the wilderness all by yourself. That's your self-concept. Who you are in that moment is your self-concept. And so most people would be afraid and feel like losers and failures, right? If you ended up in that situation. But if you create an empowered self-concept, and I'll teach you how to do that, then no matter what your external circumstances in your life, no matter what's going on in your relationships, your finances, your job, or so on, now, it might be uncomfortable, it might even be painful, but it doesn't affect who you are or how you feel about yourself. And from that springs an unlimited amount of self-confidence, because then you have this well of self-confidence that never runs out, because you have a deeply empowered, invigorated self-concept. I'll show you how to do that. Now, the third thing is to create empowered neural pathways, and you do this through focusing on what it is that you want. Most people don't know what they want. If they do know what they want, they're scared of it, or they don't focus on it. Their focus is kind of all over the place. So the third thing is to create new neural pathways. Those are your new default beliefs, your new normal. And as you create new neural pathways, you're having experiences in your head first. And so by doing that, you stretch your comfort zone so that you can step comfortably into that space without freaking out your fear center of your brain, which is why you self-sabotage yourself and so on. So third thing is to create neural pathways. Meditating really, so for me, the way I teach meditation is it's just a fancy word for focused daydreaming. Okay, so you don't have to sit in the lotus position with incense and music playing in the background. Now you can if you want to, but I don't. I lay in the bed or sit in a chair and pop some headphones in and put on a specific kind of music, and I meditate. And I think about what it is that I want to show up in my life, or I think about my relationships, or I think about how I want to feel about myself. Now, what we know about meditation, particularly when you do it with music, is it grows the gray matter of your brain. That's a really, really good thing. It's good for your brain health, good for longevity of life, and so on and so forth. We also know that meditation with music, what it does is it helps you unstress. And so all those bad stress hormones like cortisol, too much vasopressin, adrenaline, all those things that get you sick, they can cause cancer and so on down the road. Those bad hormones start to flush themselves out, and you start to flood your body with dopamine and serotonin. Those are the feel-good neurochemicals that make your body feel nice, right? And it also helps you produce immunoglobulin A, which it increases your immune system. So meditation is an amazing thing. I recommend that to anybody. It's not a long, drawn-out process. You can do it very quickly. Just a few minutes a day, and I'll talk to you about that here, how to install that in your life. I forget what number we're on. What are we on, 5? You want to practice mindfulness, and that's really just a situation of making sure your feet are where your body is, right? So be where you are. Human beings are amazing creatures. We can time travel, right? We can situate ourselves in the past. We can think to the past, and that can bring up all kinds of emotions and experiences for us. Or we can situate ourselves in the future. And we can think about what-if scenarios, and that could be stressful and really kind of freak us out. Mindfulness really is all about being right here where you are, being still with where you are. And we know that mindfulness helps you sleep better. Being present with where you are helps your memory. It also reduces stress. It also helps you lose weight and become healthier. And eat better food and metabolize food better, because mindfulness, we know the neuroscience teaches us that it affects the part of the brain that is responsible for all of those different things, from sleep to digestion and metabolism and feeling good and all those good things. So mindfulness is a huge part of that. Practicing positive language and thoughts. Remember, I told you that what you think becomes actual structures in your head. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I mean, clearly, you want to put as much positive information into your brain as you can, because the more positive wires you have in your head, the better you're going to feel, the more dopamine you're going to have flying around your bloodstream, the more excited you're going to be, the more confident you're going to be. You're going to be sleeping better, eating better, and you're going to be able to take more action against your goals. And when you take a lot of action based on healthy neural pathways, then you start getting results that feel good. And that's how you build a lot of momentum. So you want to practice positive language and thoughts as much as possible, right? So I recommend turn off the news. I promise you're going to find out about all the really bad stuff that happens. Somebody's going to tell you about it. You're going to notice it on Facebook or something like that. So you don't need to watch the news. I wouldn't recommend watching angry kinds of programming, and just be aware of the thoughts that you have and the people that you hang out with. I'm not saying be a Pollyanna. I'm not saying cut out people from your life that you don't like. What I am saying is, on the whole, you want to be as positive as you can possibly be. Practicing focused visualization is a big piece of mindfulness and meditation. Again, what this does is it expands your comfort zone. So if you try, listen, if you try to exercise willpower and just push through that comfort zone and get out there and start taking action, you're going to freak out your brain. And that's why you get stuck in old patterns and you start backsliding. So what focused visualization does is it expands your comfort zone in your brain first, and then you have space to step into that place that you've expanded, and your amygdala doesn't freak out. The fear center of your brain doesn't freak out. And you've already practiced this stuff in your head. Listen, your brain doesn't know the difference between a picture and the real thing. Now, I'm kind of oversimplifying that because it kind of does, but that's why you can look at a picture of your family or people you love and it makes you feel happy. It's why you can look at a picture of a hamburger and your mouth can water, or some food that you really like, right? And it makes you feel kind of hungry. It's why you can go to a horror movie and your stomach gets tight, your shoulders hunch over, and you grip the armrest because your brain is experiencing what it's seeing coming into it through your eyeballs. It's experiencing that. The visual cortex of your brain doesn't know the difference between mental images and real images. And so when you experience what you want to create in your life through your brain first, and then actually go out in there to do it, your brain feels like you've already experienced those things. And so it's more comfortable then taking confident action against your goals and dreams and actually doing some things that stick. Now, the final thing is to relax and de-stress, and the process I'm going to talk to you about here in a moment will certainly do that. It'll help you unstress and relax and create some really good feelings for yourself. So that's the blueprint. But here's the problem. Who has time for all of this stuff, right? Releasing destructive beliefs and all of those things, right? And you need to be consistent, right? You remember the health and wellness example, the exercise equipment example I gave you. If you don't use it consistently, it's not going to work. And so who has time to do all of that stuff 5 to 7 days a week? I don't. And that's why we created NeuroWave. So I'm going to tell you exactly what our NeuroWave audio is here in a moment. I'm giving it away today. Today you're going to receive 2 free NeuroWave audio plus a neurotransformational template, or actually 3 neurotransformational templates. If you stay to the end of the webinar, Jessie is going to find out who's in to the end, and she'll make sure that you understand where you need to go to pick those things up. So I'm going to give you a free NeuroWave audio. One is 2 free NeuroWave audio. One's guided, and that's going to walk you through creating a money mindset. One is unguided. That's beautiful. It's going to calm you down and help you fall asleep and unstress. And then the neurotransformational templates come right out of cognitive behavioral theory. And what you'll do is use those templates to write down your thoughts and your actions and your results, and you really map it out and measure it, because when you start measuring behavior and thoughts, then you can actually change it. And so I'll give you those. That's just under $200 value there, and I'm going to give you that today just for hanging out with me and spending some time. So at NeuroWave, we keep it simple. We take all 8 of these techniques that I just talked to you about. We take all 8 of them, and we collapse them into one process, and it creates sustainable results with no backsliding. So here's how it works. NeuroWave utilizes the power of bilateral auditory stimulation. This comes straight out of psychology, and what bilateral auditory stimulation is it's audio, it's music that or nature sounds that move from your left ear to your right ear, from your right to left, and pans back and forth. Now, this isn't binaural beats or anything like that, and those are great products, good stuff. This is very different from that, because this specifically targets the fear center of your brain, and it distracts the fear center of your brain while you're processing either some releasing negative beliefs or installing new programming, which may be a little scary because you're out of your comfort zone. It distracts your amygdala, that fear center of your brain, so that you can get up into the neocortex, the higher processing, reasoning, strategic thinking part of your brain, and start building the neural pathways that you want to have in your head, while at the same time pruning away those neural pathways that aren't good for you. So we harness this amazing tool called bilateral auditory stimulation, It again reduces the influence the fear center of your brain has over you, and then we leverage your brain's superpower. You have it, I have it, we all have it. It's called neuroplasticity, and it used to be thought that up until about age 35 or 40, your brain was plastic, and then after that, it was set, and you could never change it. But we know now for a fact, neuroscience has proven that until the day you die, it doesn't matter how old you get, till the day you take your last breath, you can change the way that you're wired. So through our proprietary neurotransformation sequencing, which you're going to find in the guided NeuroWave audio, we walk you through very specific steps so that you can relax and unstress yourself, so that you can create an empowered self-concept, so that you can prune away the old negative pathways, release those destructive beliefs about yourself, and then install the empowered beliefs about yourself. And truly start changing your life, because when you change your brain, when you fundamentally change your brain, then you can fundamentally change your life. So without NeuroWave, and this was my experience, the experience of my clients, there was a ton of fear-based resistance. Their ability to make action and changes, when you look at 100% personal capacity, which is what the cylinder represents, most of that capacity is blocked by fear-based resistance. You have to rewire your brain in order to calm down that fear center of your brain so that your ability to take action and make changes increases and that fear-based resistance decreases. Now, who does this work for? This works for any successful person who's stuck and can't break through. So hopefully that is you. It also works for any ambitious person who yearns to break free. It works for any person willing to do some work. So I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to insult your intelligence and tell you. All you're going to have to do is listen to some audio, and then you're good to go, and you never have to do anything out in the world. That's not how this works. You're going to have to do some work, okay? You're going to have to take a few risks. You're going to have to step outside your comfort zone, but what we help you do is expand your comfort zone, calm down the fear center of your brain so that you can actually take action that you're confident about. You're going to be increasing your confidence. You're going to be releasing old negative beliefs, and you're going to be installing new beliefs into your head. So the actions you're scared to do right now, you'll do very easily in about 3 months. Just less than 2 years ago, I couldn't imagine owning the business that I have today. And so we're sitting here literally talking today through the computer because I changed my neural pathways and started a company and started changing lives and started living my dream. And you can have that too. So you also have to be committed to being consistent, okay? You can't use the system just 1 or 2 nights a week and expect to get big changes. All right, so we kind of have to come to that understanding as well. You need to use it 5 to 7 nights a week. And most of the time, you're talking about less than 30 minutes. Some of the audio is around 35 minutes, but typically less than 30 minutes a day. So if you can be consistent, because listen, you've been consistently unintentional up until now, and I'm assuming that about you, otherwise, but I don't think you'd be here if you're intentional about what you're putting in your head. You've been unintentionally creating your wiring up until now over the course of your life. And so now when you get intentional about it, it's going to take way less time to rewire your head. In most cases, after the first 72 hours, most people start to feel better. They start to feel peaceful. They start to feel a little bit happier, just a little bit of a lift. Now that's just 72 hours. After about 4 weeks, people start behaving differently. They start feeling differently. They're thinking differently. After 3 months, typically about 13 weeks, people are taking like insane action against their goals and dreams that just 13 weeks prior, they couldn't have dreamed that they would ever be doing, but then they're doing it. And it's awesome. And they call me and they're like, Zane, this is amazing. I can't believe what I'm doing. And we just have an amazing laugh. I remember Sunny, my doctor who turned cheerleader on me, called me at her tryouts, and she had her headphones on and she was listening to NeuroWave right before she went up to try out. And so it's just, that's what I love. It's just cool things of interacting with people and watching them transform their lives. So it also works for people who are willing to do what it takes to step into the life you want to create. You got to be ready. You got to be willing to do what it takes to step into it. And once you reduce the fear center of your brain, I promise you, you're going to be way more willing than you ever have to step into your dreams. So I want you to know this. You're in control. You're not a victim, okay? You're not. And I'm sorry if things have happened to you over the course of your life that made you feel that way, but you're not. I promise you, you're in control, and this is coming from a guy who had a deep-seated victim mentality at one point in his life. You're in control. You get to choose what you believe about yourself, your finances, your abilities, and the world. NeuroWave is essentially just focused daydreaming, and then, you know, most people feel powerless, But NeuroWave is going to give you confidence, inner peace, and then empowers you to create your life. And it helps you also recognize where you are out of control so that you don't end up with messy finances or careers that you hate or careers that you're just not excited about, with relationships that are shaky or not connected, with hobbies and a self-image that's misaligned. It helps you recognize where you're out of control and then gives you the tools and the confidence to do something about it, right? So that you're not looking at that graphic of here's your comfort zone and here's your dreams outside of that. We actually help you do something about it. We walk with you along every step of the way, as opposed to just tossing you out there and showing you a comfort zone graphic and wishing you good luck. So you create the life you want to live in your mind first. And that's how it happens. The life you're living right now was created in your mind first, I promise you. So you want to decide what you want out of life and then get clear about what that looks like. Focus on what you want and then reject your limits. And you'll see them fade away. Stop focusing on your limits. Focus on where you are great. Focus on your strengths. Focus on where you're powerful and empowered. And you'll see those limits start to fade away. And just be consistent about it. And let your brain do the work for you. It'll prune those old neural pathways away. And then just watch your life change. Yeah, amazing things will happen. You'll look in the mirror one day and you'll actually see yourself. And I promise, it's a powerful, powerful experience. So take confident action. Begin taking actions that line up with your new beliefs, right? I would say even take the first month and just do all this in your head, right? Just use NeuroWave. Take the action in your brain first and then go out and start doing it in your life. Start small and then work toward a larger result. It's better to make small changes than huge changes and fail at that. Focus on taking action every day, right? How many people take one action every day against their goals and dreams? Most people don't. Just one action every day, and you're doing more than most people will do over the course of a given year. And then you want to continuously remind yourself that you're in control of every aspect of your life. You may not be in control of what happens to you all the time, but you're in control of how you respond to it. You're in control of getting back up after life punches you in the teeth, and get back up and get out there and hit it again. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and give it another go. And when you've calmed your brain down and rewired your head, I promise you that gets way, way easier. And then you can go out and get a mentor. I would strongly suggest you do that. If you can't, you can go hire a mentor. If you can't afford to hire a mentor, then just go find a mentor and let them be your mentor, even though they don't know that they're your mentor, right? You just kind of watch somebody. You watch how they walk, talk, dress, how they interact with people, how they do what they do, and you just emulate them, right? Make sure you pick somebody who's more successful than you are and emulate them. But if you can hire a mentor or find somebody who's willing to mentor you, then you're way down the road, because who you associate with is who you become like. Make sure you update your resume, right? If you're in wanting to increase your career, update your resume, sharpen your interviewing skills, increase your industry knowledge. You know how to do that, right? Maybe you can't afford to take a class. The internet's there. Look it up. Market yourself, develop your personal brand, and really developing your personal brand is all about just getting authentic about who you are, get genuine about who you are, and be your very best self. That's all personal branding is. And then become a master communicator. And you can work on all this stuff in your brain first, and then put it into your life, and you become a powerhouse, because you've wired yourself, convinced your brain, which drives your body, that you're successful, that you're awesome, right? And when you convince your brain that you're successful and that you're awesome and that you have the career of your dreams, the business of your dreams, the relationship of your dreams, when you convince your brain of that, remember what happens. Your actions always line up with your thoughts. Your brain makes sure that your actions always align with your thoughts, with your neural pathways. And when your thoughts that are empowered line up with actions that are empowered, what do you think your results are going to look like? I don't think I have to answer that for you, right? I mean, you know what the answer to that is. So your brain will change, and you get to pick how you want it to change, right? I'm not changing it for you in the guided audio. I'm not telling you what to put in your head. You get to design the process. You get to design your mind. You get to pick what you're wiring into your brain. I just kind of lead you through the process. And then reality will begin to align with the neural environment that you create. So how do you use NeuroWave? Here, this is funny to me. Just a real quick story. Somebody asked me one time, they're like, all right, NeuroWave, do I have to stick my head in something weird? Do I have to stick electrodes on my head or something? It's so simple. I promise you, most people, 99% of the people are going to have exactly what you need at your house right now. to use our NeuroWave system. It's so simple. You're not going to believe it. So all you need is a smartphone, tablet, or computer. I would recommend using a smartphone. Computer is fine, but I kind of like the portability of a smartphone. I can sit in my recliner, lay on the couch, lay on the bed. I can kind of take it everywhere, and it works great. Now, you have to have headphones or earbuds, okay? You don't get the effect of the bilateral auditory stimulation unless you have headphones in. So you must use headphones. Because then you're going to get the full effect of calming down the fear center of your brain so that you can transcend that area and get up into your neocortex, where you can train your brain to take insane, massive action against your goals and dreams and then actually achieve them and create sustainable results. You make sure you find a comfortable place to sit down or lie down. Now, people ask me, do I have to be inside? Do I have to? No, it really doesn't matter. You can be inside. You can be outside. You can be lying down. You can be kind of sitting up. Just make sure where you pick is it's a comfortable space. And it's a place that makes you feel good and a place where you feel safe so that you can really relax and dig into the program. And also, find 30 minutes for yourself, okay? Listen, I have an amazing little 6-year-old daughter, but I have to let her know when I'm going to meditate and use NeuroWave so that she gives me some space. So just you'll need that for yourself about 30 minutes a day, 5 to 7 days a week. And after about 3 months, most people start experiencing some significant changes in their life. So it's very simple. It's the smallest investment that you can make. In fact, like it's a super small investment, right? Because you're getting 2 free today, 1 guided and 1 unguided. And really, so the investment really is just a small investment of your time tonight. It's very simple for serious results that stick. And listen, if for nothing else, it gives you a reason to relax and take time for you to de-stress, to get your brain right, to get those stress hormones out of your bloodstream, to put some dopamine and serotonin in there, those feel-good neurochemicals, and start feeling better about yourself. Start feeling better about your life, about your family, about your job, about your future. You deserve that. One of the worst things for me is looking in people's eyes, whether they're people I love or people I don't even know, and just seeing those hollow eyes where clearly there's hopelessness, stuckness, and I don't like seeing that. You deserve to live an amazing life. You really do, and I'm glad to be part of this process with you. So you can get started today, and this one's on me, okay? So you're going to get a free NeuroWave designed to help you achieve money mastery. You are going to, and the music is gorgeous. It is written by a professional composer, so we don't just use any kind of music. Our music is written by a professional composer who's been performed all over the world and in orchestras and symphonies such as Minnesota Orchestra and the Fort Wayne Philharmonic and Philadelphia Orchestra. So you're going to get some amazing music and an amazing proprietary neurotransformational system to start rewiring your brain, and you're going to get those neurotransformational templates that you can use to walk yourself through. And each template is preceded by a one-pager that tells you, what to think, how to use it, and what's going on, so that there's no confusion. Very, very simple and easy to use. So let me just pause for just a second. We still have some more stuff to cover. I told you I had a lot for you. We still have some more stuff to cover, but let me just pause and make sure that you understand where we are right now before we move forward. So, number one, your brain is wired to keep you stuck financially, right? Or keep you stuck professionally. That's what's going on for you. Number two, focusing on actions and willpower only will doom you to repeating your poor results over and over and over again. And then number three, rewiring your brain with NeuroWave, with new neural pathways, is the surest way to financial success, or any success for that matter. Relationship success, health and wellness success. You have to rewire your brain first, and then you're through the door and moving forward, and amazing stuff happens. So that's where we are right now. Now, if you're serious about releasing destructive beliefs and rewiring your brain to create the exact life you want to live, then I'm super excited to introduce you to a transformative course that combines all the concepts we just talked about, right? And I'm not going to read them off. I know you can read. So there's the 8 concepts we just talked about. So it combines all of them just like NeuroWave does, but then we drive them really, really deeply. We go super deep and accelerate the change process for you. So it's a course that leads to mind mastery and then drives all of these concepts we talked about to incredible depths, just like I said, because when you master your mind, then you master your life. And since results flow from your actions, And since your actions flow from your thoughts, and since your thoughts are contained in neural pathways, mind mastery equals money mastery. Because when you wire your brain with positive money beliefs and you create neural pathways built on empowerment and courage and confidence, then you become unstoppable. You really do, because you're not going to give up. You're not going to falter. You're not going to fail. Ultimately, you keep moving forward, because remember, what you believe, your brain creates in the form of actions, and those actions bring you results. So if you believe you're a success, you become unstoppable because your actions are aligned with successful people and what successful people do, and you'll be committed to learning what successful people do. So the NeuroWave Emerge course teaches you how to achieve mind mastery, and it conditions your brain to seek out and take advantage of money-making opportunities without all the crippling fear and doubt. So, you know, like I said, my experience has been about 90 to 95% of the time, you already know what to do, right? If you're in a pinch, if you're stuck in the same old patterns, you know you're supposed to start a business or chase a promotion, expand your company, invest wisely, save, educate yourself, live within your means, develop a money mindset, work smarter or work harder. You know what to do. And if you've had enough of allowing fear to dictate your life, or if you've had enough of failing to follow through on your dreams, right? Listen, I don't know any of you, but I care about you. And I would hate for you to get to the end of your life and not at least have taken an honest crack at your dreams. And so if you're tired of failing to follow through on your dreams, if you're tired of procrastination or suffering from lack of focus or suffering from devastating limiting beliefs, then I want to introduce you to this powerful course that I've worked on this thing for a very long time. And I'm very proud to present it to you. And it's called Emerge. And it helps you achieve mind mastery. So this course teaches you how to develop a money mindset while leveraging the power of NeuroWave by creating neural pathways associated with the financial future that you desire. And here, this is awesome. Like, I love this so much as an extra benefit. The principles you learn in the course can be applied to any area of your life. So if you want to change money, you want to change your career, you want to accelerate your career, start a business, launch a product, and you're scared to do it, you're stuck in patterns, boom, just plug it into this course. Apply that to your life and watch things change. You want to change your relationships and you want to create more friendships. You want to create a loving, intimate, connected relationship with your spouse. Plug those things into this course and boom, watch it happen. Watch it change. It's amazing, amazing things happen. So here's what will change your life. We have a proven process that teaches you precisely how to rewire your brain to make more money. That's a lot of P's I just said. A proven process that teaches you precisely how to rewire your brain to make more money. This is the process I take my private clients through. And we have now put it in the form of a course so that we can reach more people. So we know stress causes disease and it leads to terrible decisions. So as part of this course, you'll learn how to significantly minimize the effects of stress so that you can be happier, more focused, and mentally sharp. We also know that limiting thoughts create a limited life. So as part of the course, we teach you how to harness the power of your visual cortex and create powerful neural pathways. Now, fear, we know this for a fact, fear will destroy you and your dreams. I'm sure you know that. You feel that, right? You maybe even feel it in your gut right now. You may feel some tightness when you think about fear. So as part of the course, we teach you to significantly reduce the influence the fear center of your brain has over your life and then smash through any obstacle. We also know that limiting beliefs will keep you lost in a maze of failure and frustration. So as part of the course, we teach you to demolish limiting beliefs and then integrate positive, empowered pathways into your brain and then take massive action without all the crippling effects of fear and doubt that have been holding you back your whole life, and then step into your dreams. How does that sound? That sound good? That's a real question. I want you to answer that question. That sound good? Yes? Yes? Awesome. Very good. So let's talk about what you're going to learn. In Module 1, I want you to read this just very quickly. Module 1, I teach you how to change your brain, change your life. I take you through brain science, teach you more about your brain, and then teach you how to de-stress your mind, and then figure out why it is that you want to change your life. And so I want to talk about these pictures for a moment, because last year in November, we were invited to keynote a retreat for military war veterans who suffer from PTSD. And we had some licensed therapists there to help. And they organized the retreat, but they brought us in to do some specific brain work with NeuroWave, and I went there to help them achieve better self-confidence. And so we did a live demonstration in the conference room, and we plugged it in, and we had the speakers panning left and right, and these people never sleep because they're so wired, they're so affected by war. And within 10 minutes, the room was knocked out. It was amazing. And I remember me and the therapist and I, we just sat there and teared up. It was amazing. So we will teach you how to de-stress your brain in order to live a stress-free life, or at least unstress on demand. Now in Module 2, we'll teach you how to use the guided and unguided audio, how to recognize roadblocks in challenging situations, how to take responsibility for your life, and so on, so that you have no more excuses, right? Those excuses that have built up in your life that don't serve you anymore, those excuses that give you reasons to not take action, to not pursue your goals, to not pursue your dreams, those excuses that allow you to mess up, and then you don't take responsibility for it. And I'm not saying it's your fault, but you have to take responsibility for your life. I'll teach you how to do that. I'll teach you why your brain doesn't like to take responsibility for the bad things that happen, and then how to smash through that neural wall and get to the other side of it. In Module 3, we talk about harnessing the power of your mind's eye. And so I'll teach you how to use the visualization process in order to create crystal clear pictures in your brain that are going to lead to creating new neural pathways so that you can follow those pathways to achieving your dreams and goals. In Module 4, we talk about creating an unstoppable self-concept. This is where you find the wellspring of your confidence. You know, this is when Sunny, the doctor turned cheerleader, I'll talk about her again. She's such a special person, but her big problem was that she had a very poor self-concept. She had no confidence, and that came out of having a diminished self-concept. So I taught her how to strengthen that, and that really was the catalyst toward getting her to achieving her lifelong dreams that she'd had since she was just a little girl. In Module 5, we talk about breaking free of your limiting beliefs. And the Chapman, the gentleman I talked to you about who lived in LA as part of a production company, and then he got his dream job in London, he had some serious limiting beliefs holding him back that really were rooted into his brain since he was a kid. And these were beliefs that he wasn't good enough, that he couldn't achieve what he wanted, and that people didn't like him. And so we worked on those limiting beliefs, broke them down, and then boom, next thing you know, just a few months later, he's in his dream job in London and really enjoying life. In Module 6, we talk about leveraging your neural net to create empowered beliefs. And so this is really the super fun module, because you get to play around in the playground of your mind and create some amazing stuff in your brain to teach yourself and condition yourself to go after what you want and leverage your neural net and actually create the life that you want to design for yourself. And we've seen this happen, over and over again from people who just wanted to have a better marriage, and then, because not that they had a dysfunctional marriage, but their marriage just wasn't working. And then a few months later, they're just intimate and having an amazing time together, and to see that transformation to affect families, to affect finances, has been a really cool thing. And then the final module is about synthesis, just putting it all together, mastering your mind and mastering your life. I'll teach you how to build it all together, make 1% improvements every day, so that you compound on your successes over time. Your brain, listen, your brain loves success. Let me throw this out there to you really quickly. I didn't intend to talk to you about this either, but a little bit of a brain fact. Don't focus on results. You want to focus on the process, because when you focus on results, what happens is your brain gets tied up in those things, and every day you don't achieve the result, then you feel like you've failed. So when you pay attention to the process, then you can rack up successes over the course of every single day in pursuit of your dream and goal. And so that's why I teach people to make 1% improvements every day, because that's very achievable. You create a success mindset, and your brain builds off of that, and then just propels you forward to creating the life of your dream. Now, you're going to get a lot of support. I am never content, ever, never content to just throw information at people and then walk away. I taught ancient Greek at a graduate school one time, and I was never content just to lecture and walk out. I had plenty of study sessions and so on so that people could come and practice and ask me questions. So I've never enjoyed just tossing information at people. People don't learn that way. It's not the way your brain is set up. So this course is designed to access multiple information processing centers in your brain so that you can integrate the information into your life. So whether you're a visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learner, there's plenty of different inputs that you can use to learn these things and put them into place in your life. And then all the modules are released at regular intervals so that you can digest the information and then put it into practice. So if you're anything like me, if you got the whole course at once, you would plow through the whole thing. And like, listen, that's just not effective. It just isn't. I've done that too many times. So you have to take little bits at a time, learn it, integrate it, take action on it, build it into your life, and then go on to the next thing. So for those of you that want this course, you get Module 1 today, and then 7 weeks later you get Module 2, and so on. We space it out because it only improves your success rate at creating those neural pathways, taking action, and building up success. Now, this is a 7-module course PDF. You're going to get that with the course. There's hours of video instruction. Again, listen, I'm not content just to sling information at you. I'm going to be with you the whole way. Every week, there's video instruction. I'm sitting right in front of you, looking you in the eye, and walking you through all of the steps. You also get 7 NeuroWave audio that are exclusive to this course. You can't buy them anywhere else. They're not on the website. You can't get them anywhere else. They're exclusive to this course, designed for each module so that when you finish up the module, you use that NeuroWave audio for the rest of the week, and you've wired your brain to absorb all the stuff you're supposed to learn, put it into action, and then move into Module 2. We also have weekly exercises and diagnostics to lock in the new principles so that you're not just doing it all in your head, you're actually putting it into practice out in your life, which is what you have to do. But we're going to teach you how to do that in a safe and effective way by doing it in your head first. And then we also have a private Facebook group for you. So this is a private Facebook group with what I call Support Plus, and I will talk to you about that here in about 30 seconds. So that is the course. Here's these special complimentary bonuses that are just kind of baked into the course. Now, you're not going to pay anywhere close to what I'm about to show you. The cost of the course is just a fraction of what I'm going to show you, but I just want you to understand the value that you can get out of this course. Now, the private Facebook group with Support Plus is a $39.97 value. Again, we're talking about a fraction of the cost here, but that private Facebook group it's a lifetime membership as long as the Emerge Facebook group exists, which I anticipate is going to be a very, very long time. You have lifetime membership for the life of that Facebook group. The Support Plus means not only do you get to interact with your fellow students, which is really cool, so you can ask questions of each other and share things and interact with each other, but I will be in there too, right, to help you, to support you, to answer your questions. Some of our coaches from our coaching program may be in there from time to time to help you. So you're not in there alone. You have experts in there helping you all along the way. It's kind of like if you joined a health and wellness support group and you had actual doctors in there helping you, right? That would provide amazing value because you have the expert in there with you. So we'll be in there with you every step of the way, and you can kind of think of it like this. It's not one-on-one coaching so much as it is, just imagine you're in a class, the professor's at the front of the course, and if you have a question, you can always walk up to the front of the course and ask the professor a question, ask for clarification, ask maybe how does this apply to my life, that kind of thing. And that's what we are there to help you with over the balance of your time in the course. And then once you graduate from the course, you're an alumnus. Like I said, you have lifetime access to the group. And I want you to be a continual learner. So keep putting the concepts into practice, integrate them into your life. You're probably going to have questions as you go, and we will be there to support you every step of the way. The next bonus is these extended video modules. Again, I could just give you the course PDF. That could be the course. I could sell you that without these video modules, but I feel like it's incumbent upon me. It'd be irresponsible of me to do that. So I wanted to make sure you had as much support as possible so that you can understand these concepts, and I'm walking with you every step of the way. So these extended video modules are worth $1,997, and it's really a behind-the-scenes look at your brain, find out what makes you tick. I go deeper than the PDFs allow, and I discuss like not just the concepts you learn in the course, but how to apply the concepts you learn into real life situations so you can develop a fuller understanding of how to rewire your brain for success. And so we have multiple videos across all the modules, and it's a lot of content. So you'll have a lot to do, but a lot to absorb and a lot of helpful information for you to be able to do what you want to do. Now, these exclusive Emerge NeuroWave audio, if I were to sell these, that's a $1,000 value easy. And so, but I created them especially for you for each of these modules, and so they'll walk you through each one. So week 1, the NeuroWave audio is designed to help you relax and get unstressed, right? And I'll walk you through those steps so that on demand, after you practice for a while, you can unstress yourself. To me, in and of itself, that would be amazing. But then we keep walking you through the concepts of how to visualize, how to release limiting beliefs, how to integrate empowering beliefs, and so on. So they're designed especially for you for each Emerge module. We also have exercises and diagnostics, which come right out of psychology, neuroscience, and cognitive behavioral theory. And so they will work they are aligned with the way that your brain works naturally. So they're, again, based on proven techniques. They allow you to hold yourself accountable each week. You can take action on the concepts covered. And really, it's about integrating mind, body, and soul, right? Because you'll be using all 3 of those things. Now, this next bonus I am really super excited about, because I'm very proud of these people. This is my coaching team, and these are the NeuroWave coaches. Now, this is over your time in the course. Should you purchase the course, you're going to get a complimentary session with one of these amazing people. And so you can cash it in at the beginning of the course. You can wait until maybe you run into a road bump halfway through or near the end of the course. Cash that $500 value in, and I'll pair you up with a coach. You'll fill out a little application, and I'll kind of see who you are, what you're working on, what you like, and I'll pair you up with the coach that most matches what you're working on and who you are, so that you can get the very most out of that particular relationship and time with that coach. And so that's Virginia, Bree, Becky, and Rick, moving from left to right, and I can't say enough stuff about them. I'm so excited to have them on the team and working for us. So you get very high-level support from these experts. They will give you specific personal attention to your unique situation to help you with your NeuroWave process, and you'll get practical, easy to integrate direction from these amazing experts. Now, so these are the special bonuses. When you tally it all up, all the bonuses for the course are complimentary to you for a grand total of $8,394. And you can get all those bonuses today for one payment of $997. That includes all those special bonuses. It includes the 7-module course PDF, the hours of video instruction, no MP3s. Sorry, we pulled that out because it just wasn't helping people out. But you get the 7 NeuroWave audio exclusive to Emerge and the private Facebook group. That's a total value of $9,091 for one payment of $997. I'm going to give you that link here in just a moment. Now, this is cool too. I'm excited to offer you this. So as a special additional bonus, I love action takers. I love people who are so ready to go. They're motivated, ready to take action, that they move fast. So the first people who register for the course, I will consult with you personally one-on-one. Now, I'm not personally taking on new clients right now. My book is full, but I do have time for one session with you over, at any point during the course to sit down with you over a Skype chat, and I'll give you my personal attention for 30 minutes and help you walk through anything you want to walk through about your life and help you rewire your brain for success. And so I'm very excited to offer you that. And you still get, now for the first 3 people who register, you still get the one-on-one with the coach. So you get to coach with me and one of the NeuroWave coaches. So you can get started right now. There is the link. It's and Jesse, if you pop that down in the chat log so that people can grab that and go order if they're ready to do that now. If you could put that in there, but that's the URL. You can go and register now. There's a question. So yes, there are payment plans, so you can do that, or you can purchase it today for the full. Now, once you purchase, you gain access to Module 1 and begin transforming your life today. So remember, when you purchase the course, you're going to get Module 1, so you'll get a welcome module and Module 1, so it's the kind of the most material you'll get over the entirety of the course, and then 7 days from now, you'll get Module 2, and then Module 3, and so on. Plus, you get a 30-day money back guarantee, no questions asked. So if you get into the course and it's 29 days, 23 hours and 59 minutes, and you just think, Zane, this really not the right time for me, or Zane, this isn't what I thought it would be, then you can return the product, no questions asked. So there's really no risk if you're not enjoying the course, and you really have nothing to lose except some stress, some limiting beliefs, and some undesirable results. So if you're ready to do some work and change your life, now this isn't for everybody. It's for people who are willing to do some work, who've had enough of the life you're currently living. You've had enough of it and you're ready to move forward. If you're really serious about changing your life, then I would be absolutely honored to take that journey with you. And listen, if it's not the right time, then there's no hard feelings. And I'd invite you to use our other services, and I certainly wish you well on your path. So if you're ready to get started now, again, here is the URL, and I can also take questions at this point if you have any questions. I'll give you just a moment here to type those out. No question. Was I that clear? I'm blown away. I'm totally blown away. Oh, here comes a question. So, how long is the course and the bonuses available? So, yeah, that's a great question. So, the course could fill up fast, but most likely it'll be available for 5 to 7 days. So you'll definitely want to act on it. I mean, those bonuses are not available forever. So up to 7 days is how long they're available, depending upon how many people register for the course. And then, yeah, so here's another question. Will this erase my thoughts? So yeah, so I talked about this earlier, but that's fine. So no, it's not going to erase your thoughts. All it does is it removes the emotional impact that your negative beliefs have over your life. And that's all it does. It certainly doesn't erase any of your thoughts. So are there any other questions? Are you guys good? Awesome. All right. So I think Jesse has put the URL down in the chat log there for us. And look, I love helping people. So thank you. Thank you for being on. This has been an absolute pleasure. I love helping people. I would be honored to become part of your journey. So listen, thanks for hanging out with me today. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing life. And I hope to touch base with you very, very soon. Thanks so much. Good night.